The Spirit Award is given every other year, and we started it, probably 10 years ago or so, from the foundation, and it's the highest award the foundation gives to a community member who has demonstrated lots of energy in their volunteer work for Carroll Hospital Center.
He has dedicated a lot of his time, energy, and personal resources to the hospital, and he's a deserving recipient.
He was a tremendous mentor for me. The things that I learned from Bill was the ability to be decisive, but yet be fair in his decision making, to be visionary, but really don't lose sight of what you're doing day to day, because it's the day-to-day work that really you're judged on.
Expanding a hospital is not just building, it's bringing in new services. It's bringing in new people to deliver those services. New physicians, new nurses, everybody down the line, including cafeteria and housekeeping people, new technicians. It's adding services so that people don't have to go elsewhere out of the county. So the building is just a symbol. It's what goes on inside the building that counts.
Bill's the very best friend of the hospital. When you talk about Bill and the hospital, I mean, there isn't a thing here that you can't attribute back in some way to Bill.
It seems like no matter what you're talking about, Bill's always involved at some level.
He served on medical committees, he served on finance committees, he served on building committees. I mean, there isn't a person in this room who has not had their life in some way affected by Bill Gavin.
I'm really proud to hear people talk about the hospital nowadays. Back in the early days, you know, it wasn't even staffed by a physician. It was just a little place on the countryside. But today it's grown technologically, physically, and expanded its services, and it's really a wonderful place to be affiliated with.
During Bill's tenure as president and chairman, the hospital went through one of its largest growth periods. We added significant new services and programs.
Well, it means a great deal because, truth be known, it's not just for me. I think of receiving this award, and it's nice to be recognized, but I think of all the people who worked with me in the background, who worked everywhere in the hospital. Well, there's one thing I would not change, and that is I made a contact with the professional fundraisers that were here back in the mid-70s, and I met my wife there. And she's a lovely person. I'm glad I met her. It took us a couple years to get together, but that was the beginning. And it's been a long, happy relationship ever since.
Bill does it because he's committed to community service. He doesn't do it for recognition like he's receiving tonight, which is absolutely magnificent because he deserves it. But he doesn't seek glory, he doesn't seek publicity, he does it because it's the right thing to do. And that's the Bill Gavin that I know and I love, and I hope everyone in this room feels the same way.